Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday evening to everybody. How are you all tonight? Oh, we got people coming in. I'll type something, so hopefully I'll get your comments. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it's 6 o'clock. Oh, we got one person. Hopefully everybody can find me. Oh, hi, Denise. Denise and Cheryl. People are starting to find me. Facebook is not very good about sending out notifications. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So you have to kind of hang around and be watching for it. I have a class I take on Wednesday night on Facebook, and I have to kind of watch for her because it doesn't always come up in my feed or anything. So, oh my gosh, all kinds of people are coming in. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Marianne. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Janan. Hi, Barb. People are starting to come in now. So I was at the store today with my little sewing group, but today we were computing instead of sewing. So we were playing with Pattern Maker. It's been a very long time since I've played with that program, that cross stitch program, and so we were having fun with that today. So we made some progress. I think everybody learned a little bit and gave me the chance to get it out after many years and play with it too. Hi, Diane. So people are finding me. That's great. Hi, Deb. Oh, hi, Deb. Hi, Pat. Is everybody hearing me okay? Everybody hearing me okay too? I'm in the living room, so since we're doing scan and cut, I'm in. Oh, here's Jerry. Hi, Jerry. I'm in the living room tonight, and the sound, everything's different in here. I'm very close to the furnace, so hopefully the furnace doesn't bother everybody. Hi, Clara. Oh, cool. Everybody's hearing me. I'm getting thumbs up, so you must have been hearing me. So anyway, we were working with Pattern Maker today. It was really fun. So we got a couple little things done and learned a lot. And it's been a long time since I've used it, so I've had a really good time playing with it. Hi, Garnet. I like cross stitch, and I don't like to hand sew. So I've always loved cross stitch, so I've never really done a lot except teeny tiny little pieces. And so when I could do the computerized stuff and then put it on my embroidery machine, it's awesome. then I can do cross stitch. So that's what we were doing today. And so tonight we're going to make a scan and cut cover, and I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm just going to talk you through the actual sewing of the cover. It's very simple. There's like 3 pieces, and if you really think you need it, I will be happy to do just a little video about sewing it, but I think you can understand. It's not very hard, and I'll just kind of walk you through it tonight. And we will then make the decorations. Is mostly what we're going to do tonight, is the decorations for the cover. And the decorations, a lot of them came from our freebies on the Brother website. Brother's Canvas Workspace is your free software that you get with your software or get with your machine. And it is, oh, hi, Colleen. Yeah, we got all kinds of people here. My goodness. People are still rolling in. So I won't get too much. I'll give everybody about 5 minutes. Some people, it's hard to find me sometimes, so I don't like to I don't like to start too early. I like to give people a few minutes to get in. But now I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Can't remember what I was talking about. Oh well, must not have been that important, huh? I'll go back and watch the video. So anyway, I'll talk through the scan and cut cover and how to put it together. And if you really need me to do a video, I'll just do a video on just the sewing. I'll just do it and upload it. But it's pretty simple. And we're mostly going to do the decorations, and I'm going to show you how to cut glitter vinyl tonight. And then we're going to do a scanning exercise. So we're going to actually take a picture and scan it into the machine and then make the design, because we're going to do the little scan and cut logo. So Oh yes, people are still coming in. Good. We'll wait just a couple more minutes here. I like to wait for maybe 5 or 7 minutes because then people have a chance to find us. Makes it hard to find us. Sometimes Facebook is just not terribly cooperative. Okay. So Canvas Workspace, that's what I was talking about. Is your free software that comes with your Scan and Cut, and there was something very exciting to me. I know this may not sound that great, but for me it was great. There's 2 versions of it, and there is a version that you can download to your computer, and then there's the version that you go to canvasworkspace.brother.com, and it's on the browser. It's like on the internet. And I like that one really well because it's user friendly. I don't care for the one on the computer very well, but if you keep it updated, there was a new update that just came out the other day. And hi Marilyn, hi Jolene, and oh hi Marcia. And there was an update that just came out not too terribly long ago that if you download that and install it on your computer, and it only works on the PCs, it is not working on the Mac yet. You can download it, and then finally we can see a picture of those FCM files that, the machine makes FCM files, and that's what you put in the machine. And all they were was just a white piece of paper, and you couldn't actually see what it was. So then I had to try to figure out, I had to go put everything on a stick, take it to the machine, and open it up so that I could see what it was. And so if you download that and install it, it'll actually show you right on the screen in a little tiny little thumbnail picture what it is. And I don't use the software that much. Hi Lynn, hi Deb. I don't use the on the computer software that much, but I do use, I like that little icon thing. So they finally did that. Yay. It was kind of like the highlight of my life this week, I think, when I found that out the other night. Actually, it was just last night I found it because I updated it and I thought, oh my gosh, look at there, I can see it. So I'll turn my camera around here in a second and show you what I'm talking about. Also, one of the things that we're using for the decoration tonight is a freebie on Canvas Workspace. So I was going to show you. Give the website you're talking about again. It is canvasworkspace.brother.com. And that's where you go in and you can log in. And when you open it up, so let me see if I can get this to work. I'm just going to have to turn my camera around because I can't share my screen and use my camera at the same time. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this around, and so you can see my computer screen, and then I'm going to Canvas Workspace here. Just a second. Okay. So let me see if you can see this. I'm just going to look back. Let me go down a little lower. Okay. You won't be able to see it yet. Just a second. I got to get it low enough so you can see it. It's hard to do this. So, okay. So you should be on this is Canvas Workspace right now. And if there's an update, this little box will come up. Hopefully you're seeing a little box that says this PC version of Canvas Workspace has been upgraded. There's a little download button, and click the download button, download it to your computer, and install it. Okay? That way you'll have that little icon, that little iconizer thing so you can see it. So hopefully you're seeing my screen there. I can't see it now because I've got it off of the other thing. Okay, so I'm going to close this for a second, and then I'm going to show you when you log in all of these freebies. Look at all these freebies that are here. These are all free projects that you can use for your Scan and Cut. And the little stickers or the little decorative thing, I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. They did them out of adhesive vinyl, but I'm doing them out of heat transfer vinyl and putting it on the cover instead. So this is the one I'm using. So make sure you go into here, and there's so many free things you can get, and there's tons of cute projects. Okay, so I'm going to go back so you can see me again because I can't tell what you're seeing. So hopefully you saw that. All right. I've got a piece of software that I'm going to learn. I swear I'm going to learn it. It will allow me to switch between my screen and my camera. So that's the next thing I have to learn. It was a little bit complicated, so I didn't take time to learn it right away. Okay, so did everybody see? If you can send me hands up or thumbs ups. Did you see those little projects that were on Canvas Workspace that I was just showing you? Hopefully you saw those on my computer screen. Yeah, Canvas Workspace. There's no dot in there, Deb. canvasworkspace.brother.com. So it's just Canvas Workspace all together .brother.com. And then that's your free software. That's where all those cool things are, and that's where you can download the PC version. And the PC version, I'm not going to show you that tonight. We're going to actually have a class on Canvas pretty soon. So I will, then I can share my screen with you and you can see it all more closely. But that program, when you download it and install it, that's the one that has that little iconizer. And that is so nice because then you can see the picture of those FCMs on the screen of your computer. Okay? Everybody got that? Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to tell you was about that new update. So do that. Canvas Workspace has so many fun freebies. So make sure you go in there, and because you can download it. They have a video, they have the actual design, and they have a little instruction sheet. But the one that we're doing tonight, I actually did. Let me hold this up. I actually uploaded this to the group last night. So last night, I uploaded this project. This is the one we're going to use in the class tonight. And I uploaded, that whole design, the video, and the instruction sheet. And then I uploaded the patterns for the two scan and cut covers. So there's one cover for the older machines because it's a smaller machine, and then there's a cover for the DX machines. So if you have one of the new AutoBlade ones, okay. So there's two patterns, and the way I did this, I'm going to show you on the machine here in a second. I'm going to turn this around so you can see my cover. And you're going to have to excuse me. I may have assistance this evening. I have two cats sitting right behind my left shoulder on the table because they're why are you talking? So they're sitting here looking at me like, what are you doing? So we will have four-legged assistance this evening. So I do apologize. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around so you can see the cover and you can get to see Gigi. Here's Gigi. She's sitting there in front of the cover, helping out. She looks like she's laying an egg. Okay, so Gigi, can you move, hon? Well, I know you're going to have to complain. Get down. All right. So now we have, that's Mitzi. She's going to help out too. This is Mitzi. She's one of my 18-year-old and going on 19-year-old cats. So here's my cover. This is on the DX because I have my blue here. Okay. And whoops, somebody just texted me. Hopefully it wasn't anything too important. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to take this off and get my scan and cut turned on. Give me a minute. Put this out because I wanted you to see it on the machine. So I had to make the pattern by tracing the ends, and then I had to measure how long it was and figure out how to get it to fit. And I think it fits pretty well. So we'll turn this on. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to talk about the construction of the cover. So there's the two patterns. So what I did is I made a pattern for each end. So like this is the smaller machine. This is the CM. So I named it Scan and Cut CM. And then this is the Scan and Cut DX. Okay, so I kind of put the pattern right on here. You have a 3/8 inch seam. A 3/8 inch seam means you put your needle in the center and you run the fabric along the edge of your foot. And that'll give you a 3/8 inch seam. Okay? On your machines, because most of you have Brother machines. All right. Then the body of the cover is just going to be a rectangle, and I gave you the measurements for each one. So the smaller one is 20 1/4 by 17 1/2, and the bigger one is 22 by 20. All right. So I wrote everything out. So I was kind of happy about this. So see these little ends? This is your pattern for the ends for the shape, and then you just cut your rectangle. So what this is an FCM file, and it's up there on the group in the Dropbox. So everybody remember that the Dropbox link to all of these things is right at the top of the group page under announcements. You just click there and it'll take you to the Dropbox page, and then it's under Scan and Cut Cover. Okay, so the title of the folder is Scan and Cut Cover. All right, so everybody give me a thumbs up if you understand where to go to get this pattern. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So this pattern, though, is cool. So let's bring this up in the machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out of paper. It's difficult to cut the fabric for this on the Scan and Cut. This fabric, I'm going to hold this up again. This fabric, I like to make these kind of out of a canvas fabric. You can make it out of anything you want, but I like this canvas fabric because it holds up real well and it's lightweight. Okay. So this is just plain old like tote bag canvas. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I like this kind of light color because then it, shows the pretty colors I'm using. Okay, so that's what I use. Just a nice heavy fabric like a twill, but the canvas is a little heavier. So there's all kinds of different colors you can use. So that's what I made my cover out of. All right. So then this design that I made for you, I cut this out of paper. But what was neat is I made it. I had just the instructions scrawled on here, for the sizes and everything in pencil. Well, I went in, and I'm going to bring the design up on the machine. I'll bring it closer here in a second. So I'll bring one of these designs up, and they're both the same, but there's one for each one. But what I did, let me see if you can see this. Hopefully you can. It's a little hard to see my screen. I apologize for the Scan and Cut. It must be... It's something to do with the screen. It makes it hard to see it. It's never been very easy. Okay, is that better? Can you see it? A little bit better there? I have a little bit of I'm always going to have a little bit of a glare because of the light above my head. But can you see the outline here for the outside edge? Okay, and then the lettering is in the design. So when I go to set this is how you're going to make it. It's so fun. It's just really fun to do because your machine draws as well. So in your little door down here, remember, I think we've used this. This is a pen holder. This is the little basic one that comes with all the machines, okay? And then you get a little set of pens like this. And this is how I did this. I just put my little black pen in there, in this, okay? And the first thing I do, if you look here, I made the design. There, if I go over it, can you see that better? That's a little bit better, isn't it? I have a little trouble getting it to stay, so there we go. That's a little bit better. So when I say please select, if I say please select and I draw, look, all that's going to draw on here is the seam allowance line and the words. So I'm not going to do this tonight because it takes a little while for the words to draw out. But that way, when you print this out, you have the shape of the design so you can cut your fabric, plus you have all the instructions right on it, okay? So the first thing I did is I drew it, and I drew the outside line is the seam line where you're going to sew, and then the inside is the instructions and all the measurements, okay? And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to choose, instead of draw, I'm going to choose cut. And now all there is just the outside cut line. So I have one design and I can do two things with it. So I set that up in the software in Canvas Workspace so that you could do this with one design and you could cut it and draw it and have all the instructions right on the ends. Okay? Just those little things that excite me. So I wanted to have one too because now I have all my instructions all written out and I have the pattern and I have it all on one piece of paper. Okay, so the first thing we'll do, that's done on cardstock. I just cut this out of just plain old cardstock and drew it on here. And then I took it to my fabric and I just cut out my pieces, okay? I cut out my rectangle on the two ends. Like I got some comments, I got to get it to scroll here. Okay? All right. So is that making sense to everybody? And these are in the group in that folder. So there's one for each machine. So it doesn't matter which machine you have, there's a pattern for each one. Okay? I did that a couple weeks ago. It was really fun to make the pattern. All right, so let me get this one out of the way. And this is I got my fabric here. So let me bring my camera around this way. So here's my fabric. Now I'm just going to kind of talk you through this. So here's my rectangle. This is the one for the bigger one. So I'm going to make up another bigger one here. And so here's the two ends. And see, I just cut them out with scissors. Okay. And then here's the rectangle, and I just cut that out with my rotary cutter. Then what you want to do is you want to take, I've got these kind of pinned on here already. So what I did is I took this and I folded it in half up to where the line is at the top so I could get the center. And I just folded it down and made a crease there. Okay? I did that on both sides. And I'm folding to this piece right here. See the little round part and the two little round parts at the top? Measure. This is the bottom. The longer side's the bottom. And it's going to stick out like this on the bottom. So I get it all on there. Okay? Then what I did is I folded this big piece in half and found the center. And I pinned it at the center on both sides. Now when you look at this, make sure you get them going the opposite direction. So that it will fit correctly. All right. So I got the two longer ends coming this direction. Okay. Then you're just going to pin around like this. Pin all the way around to the bottom, all the way around. So you have the two sides pinned in, and then you're going to take your sewing machine, put the needle in the center, and run the edge of the fabric. I do this on the sewing machine first, but I'm going to show you what I do second. I use the sewing machine first. So around to make my seam. You're going to have a curve here, so it's easier to do that with the sewing machine first. All right? And then when you get around both sides, then what I do is I go to my serger. I'll bring this one over here. Then I go to my serger after I have it sewn in with the sewing machine. I go to my serger and I sew that same seam again. So I cover all that up so it's nice and neat inside. I just go over it with the serger, all right? And then I go along the bottom. Now I have this turned up already, but I like to go along the bottom edge, all the way around the bottom edge, and just serge it so that it has a nice, clean, covered line. And then I go back to my sewing machine and I just turn up that little tiny little 1/4 inch hem and just stitch it down with the sewing machine. Okay, so that way I have the whole inside of my Scan and Cut cover all completely covered with the cover stitch or the serger. Okay, so that way it's nice and neat on the inside and it doesn't ravel on you. Okay, so as you can see, the cover's pretty easy. There's not much to it. And with the pattern, the hardest part for me was figuring out the size because, I had to figure out the whole, turn the Scan and Cut on the end and trace around it and get these end pieces first. And then once I got that all done, then the rest of it was easy putting it together. Second, we got some more comments. Okay. Hi, everybody. Got a bunch of new people come in. Okay, so does this make sense? Give me some thumbs ups if the Scan and Cut cover, you think you kind of understand the instructions. There's not much to it, but the serger's great for the edges, so you don't have this stuff kind of ravels a little bit. So this canvas, but it makes a nice cover and it's lightweight. Okay, does everybody understand how to put it together now? That's the boring part, is the sewing, this little sewing part, and then the fun part's decorating it. So that's what we get to do next. Okay, so everybody think they can sew it? If you really feel like you need a video for the sewing procedure, message me after the class, and I will try sometime this week to put up a sewing, like a video of the sewing. But I think you can handle the sewing. It's pretty simple. It's very basic. 3 pieces. Hardest part is getting it pinned in. Once you get it all pinned in, it's fine. Okay? So does that make sense? Just make sure when you put these on, I'll put this back up here again because I'll need this in a little bit. Remember when you get these pinned on that you got them going the opposite direction so they're both of the fronts are together. I made that mistake the first time. It's like I got one turned over. So, okay. All right, everybody good? Okay, it looks like everybody's good. Everybody's giving me thumbs up that you're good. All right, so this is the big cover here. This is the smaller cover here for the smaller machine, so that you can see that the end looks a little different on this one. This one's shorter. You know, the machine was just a little more compact than this one is. So, okay, so there's one for each one. So whichever machine you have, you've got a cover for it. Okay. And what we're going to do tonight will fit on either cover with the exception of a small measurement. And I will tell you that measurement when we get there for the smaller machine. Because the smaller machine needs a little bit shorter piece on it, okay? Okay, so that's kind of the quick sewing guide for the sewing of the cover. So I'm going to get these out of the way. Okay. Now for the fun part. So, and don't forget to your patterns. You'll be able to cut them out and draw them. I usually do the drawing first, and then I do and then I cut it out. So I like to draw them first and then cut them. So, and the drawing does take a little bit. I was going to do it, but it takes a little bit to get it drawn. So I figured I'd wait, and I'm sure you can figure it out. So hit draw first, put your pen in, and then go back on the same design, and then hit cut, and then it'll cut out the outside edge. Okay? So that's your patterns. And those are up there. Okay, now, this is the fun part. This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to make this Scan and Cut logo out of glitter vinyl. All right? And I have a really great surprise for everybody. We're in the process of updating our website, our Shield Sewing Center website, and Brother has this beautiful new glitter vinyl. I'm so excited. They have glitter and they have metallic heat transfer vinyl. And they'll also have the metallic in the adhesive plus the regular adhesive vinyl. So Tim is updating our website for everybody that you will be able, I'm going to put links up. You can go to shieldsewingcenter.com. It'll be a little bit later this week because we haven't got all the vinyls and stuff up yet. But you will be able to buy your tools there, your vinyls there, and I'm going to show you another little thing. It'll all be up on the website, and we're going to have everything at what they call MAP price. So MAP price means that it's going to be probably a little less than in the store, and then you can choose if you want it sent to you directly and pay the shipping, or if you want if you want to come in and pick it up, that's free. So we're going to give you some options for shipping. But I wanted to give you ways that you can get a hold of some of this stuff easier and more conveniently than trying to go hunt it down on the internet. So we're going to get our website updated, and if you keep checking back this week, you're going to see a lot of changes on the website, okay? So that was my other big surprise tonight was our website's coming up. And I'm going to have all this pretty glitter vinyl. I just love this stuff. You know, I've always had to order it from other places, and it'll be nice just to go to the store and have it right there. So I'm very excited about that, and I can just shop right online. I'm going to put some links like in the videos now to the website, so you can just click right through from the video into the website. But it's shieldsewingcenter.com. All right. So give us a couple days because we haven't got everything up there, but we're working on it. Okay. All right. So these are the three things that we're going to do. This is that freebie, and then we're going to make this design. Okay, so let's get to the fun stuff. So the first thing we have to do, that's the other thing that's in the information that I uploaded to the group, into the file. I think it'll be nice too, Pat, because the website, a lot of you are a long ways away, and if I can make it more convenient for you to get a hold of these things, I know it'll be a lot easier for you. And you know, we talk about a lot of products and a lot of different things, and Tim has been starting this nice website. We have a lot of options available, and now we've got we're working on it. Where we really want to work on it so that we can make it convenient for you. And you can shop there and pick it up, or you can just shop and have us ship it. So it's up to you. But just give us a few days. We're working on it. There'll be some more stuff up there this week that you'll want from like you'll see from the class tonight. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, I uploaded a little picture, and sorry, my cat is sitting on it down here. Excuse me. Thank you. I uploaded this picture into that folder with the patterns and everything. This is the Scan and Cut logo that I found online. I just found it online and downloaded the JPEG image and then printed it out. All right, so then we're going to scan this and create our own design in the machine. So what I'm going to do, make sure I'm following my notes here. I just have to get this loaded, and I have to get a cat out of the way, pardon me. They're really helping me tonight. Sometimes when I do this, I've done this a couple times, and they are all sleeping behind me, and tonight they're all running around the table here. So, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load our mat. This is a scanning mat. I like scanning mats because they don't have stickum on them. It has this little sheet. I put my graphic up in here, and it's up there on the group, so you can just download it and print it off yourself. Okay, and usually when I do this, I like to put it horizontally like this, like you would read it, because then I don't have to do so much flipping and stuff in the machine. Okay, so I have it under this little flipper, and the scanning mats will be up on the website too. In fact, they may already be there, the scanning mats. But these are awesome because then you don't have, especially if you're maybe scanning something that is maybe a delicate pattern that you purchased, you don't have to worry about having any sticky stuff that might damage your pattern. This one I didn't really care so much about, but I still use my scanning mat most of the time. Okay, so we're going to bump this mat up against and we've talked about the rollers, we're going to bump it up against the rollers. I'm going to lay my hand in front of this, then I'm going to reach up, and I'm going to tip this up so you can see me. I'm going to reach up and hit this load button to load my mat, and I'm going to guide it in and keep that mat nice and flat against the board. Okay, the bed of the machine. I have to make sure my little, and on these machines, everybody remember there's like a little tray that's in the back of them. Make sure you have that pulled out because then the mat lays flat when it's going through. Okay. You're going to see a cat tail waving in the wind back there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I've got this loaded, and now we need to scan it. So this is how we're going to make this into a design, and we're going to cut it out of my vinyl. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go up here to our screen. If I kind of aim ahead above this, you can usually see it pretty well. So I'm going to go, like right now, this isn't a pattern yet. We want to scan. So I'm going to hit the scan button. And there's different choices here. There's a direct cut. That means that I would cut it out of this particular piece of paper. Now that is not what I want to do tonight. I want to scan to cut data. So I'm going to cut it, I'm going to scan, and then I want to scan it first and save it and cut it out of something else. Okay? Just a second. Does the CM350 need a scan mat? Mel, no, you do not need a scan mat, but it is a nice thing to have, and you can get a scan mat for that machine as well. I actually like the scanning mats because I don't like to put my stuff I'm scanning on a sticky mat, just in case I might damage a pattern or something. So I do have scanning mats, so that you can get one for either machines, the older ones or the newer ones. Okay? So we are going to scan this. I'm going to hit Scan to Cut Data. And they give you a couple of different modes. This mode is black and white. Even though this graphic, as you saw, was blue, it was kind of a blue color. It's just two colors. It's just actually one color with the white background. I'm going to use the black and white mode for this. If this were, say, 2 or 3 or 4 colors, then if I choose color mode, it will actually read the layers of color. So then I could layer like black on with white on top. Okay, so this one is just going to be one color, so we'll just use the black and white mode tonight. So I'm going to leave it on black and white mode. I'm going to hit the start button, and I'm going to hit start again. And it's going to scan my mat in here. So here it comes. And then it's going to recognize. So it's going to take a minute, and it's going to think about this, what we just scanned in here. Okay, it brings it up on the screen. So once we get to this point, we've got a couple of options. We need to trace it now. So this is just scanned now. It's not traced yet. So it gives me three options. I can just scan around the outside edge, which I often use for applique. The second button is it's going to scan on the inside and the outside. So if there's details on the inside, it will get those too. Now that's what I need for this one. The third button is going to scan, or it's going to trace the intersection. I have yet to use that, so I'm not sure exactly what I would use that for. So I usually use one of the first two buttons. So I'm going to use the second one because I have like the inside of the A, the inside of that N, the inside of that N there, like the insides of things. Okay, so we're going to use the second button. And then on this screen, if you can see these little arrows here, I have the ability to crop so if I have a little bit of a mess, or like you could see down here, if I pull this down again, did you see that there was a black line? You can't see it very well on the screen, but there's a black line right there. That's going to cut, and I don't want that in my scan, so I'm going to pull this up and just crop up around my item that I want. I just want the Scan and Cut logo. Give me a second here. I've got a couple more comments. Okay. Yeah, I like this. That's right, Mel. I don't like the sticky one for the scanning. I have one. Do I have to buy a new one for my new machine? Unfortunately, yes, Margaret. The only thing that doesn't convert back and forth in the machines is the mats. So you do have to have a new mat. I'm sorry. And the Scan and Cut, you can get the older machines. You can get a scanning mat for those. But the mats for the two machines are different. The blades can be used the old blades can be used in the new machine, but not the mats. Okay. So I have cropped this up to where it's cleaner now, and I'm ready to preview. There's a little button that says Preview here. I'm going to hit the Preview button. And for those of you with the 350s and the 650s, they are going to be very slightly different while you're doing this, but it looks almost the same, okay? Your buttons are just slightly different than this one, but I don't have my older machine anymore, so I'll always demonstrate on this one. So then I'm going to hit OK. I think I'm happy with that. I can look at it, and it looks pretty good, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I have the option of saving it in my machine back to a stick, or I can even send it right back to my Canvas software. Because this machine's wireless, I can send it back to my software, and if I need to do something to it, I can do it in the software. Now tonight, I know this is going to be fine. I'm going to save this in my machine. So here's my machine, and it's just going to save it there. It's thinking. And just note the number. This is number 16. So I just need to know that's the one that I need to go to find it. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm done with the scanning. So I'm going to hit the little house button up here and hit OK. And I'm back to my main screen. Okay? So then we're going to hit the unload button. I'm going to unload this mat, the scanning, and I'm done with the scanning mat. So I'll set that over aside here. Didn't have to move Gigi this time. She wasn't sitting on the other mat. Okay, so now we're ready for cutting. So I'm going to go find that pattern. Give me a second. I'm going to turn my page so I don't miss a step, because I have measurements on the next page. So remember, I saved this in the machine, my Scan and Cut logo. So I'm going to hit Retrieve Data. It's not in the patterns. These are the built-in patterns up here. If I produced something, it goes down to this Retrieve Data. So I'm going to hit Retrieve Data. And remember, we saved it in the machine. So I'm going to go to the machine. Then I'm going to go find my scan. So I know it's going to be down a little ways because I've saved several things. And it's number 16. It's right here. So I'm going to click on that one. And I'm going to bring it up on the screen. You're not going to be able to see it too well. It's very light. I've never found a great angle. The older machines were easier when it came to seeing things. And I think it's the screens are different. So, okay. So here's my design right here. And I'm going to hit OK. And at this point, we're going to be sewing this, or we're going to be cutting it in glitter vinyl. And when you cut this vinyl, you cut it from the back. So what do you suppose we're going to have to do when we get this ready to cut? We need to cut it mirrored. So we're going to have to turn it over so we can cut this mirrored. There's a couple things we're going to do first. I need to edit, so I'm going to hit the edit button. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a teeny tiny little red dot right here. And if I touch over here, there's a bigger red box. And over here, there's another red box. So that means that this design is in lots of little pieces. So I always like to group this together, because if I start messing around with this and trying to mirror it as it is now, it's going to be all a mess because it's all in lots of little pieces. So I'm going to select, this is the select button with these red boxes. I'm going to select, and then this button, the second button, is select all. So if I do that, then if you look over here, look at all the little boxes, they're all selected together. I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to go into Object Edit. And this button right here that looks like a square, right here towards the bottom, is the Group button. And I'm going to click Group. And now when I look up here, I have one red box around the entire thing. So now it's easier to work with because everything's grouped together. All right? So I'm happy with that. That's good. The next thing I'd like to do is I need to make this a specific size. So you may need to write this size down. It'll be in the video, of course. But if you got the bigger machine, the DX, the new one, you need to make this be 8.5 inches wide to fit correctly on the cover. So the sizing is in this first button up here where the little arrow is in the box. And right now it is 10.24 inches wide, so that's too big. If I just move the width, it's going to take the height with it, because this is now, it's in aspect ratio, so it'll go together. So I want this, I'm going to hold the negative button down, and I want to go to 8.5. Whoops, I kind of overshot it. Let's go back a little bit. I get it carried away and then I overshoot it. There, 8.5. So the top one ended up being about just a little under 2 inches tall. Okay? So 8.5. Now if you have the smaller machine, I made this logo just a little bit smaller. I made it a 1/2 inch smaller. I made it 8 inches. So if you have the CM series, either the 650 or the 350, you need to make this 8 inches wide here. All right? So we're going to make ours 8.5. I'm going to click OK. I'm happy with the size now. And the last thing I need to do before I cut is I need to mirror it, because it needs to be upside down. Because when we're cutting from this direction, this is the way it's going to look when I put it on the screen. Okay? Because we cut with this plastic stuff down on the mat. So I'm going to mirror it. These two little triangles right here are the mirroring buttons. So we're going to do that. And I don't know if you can see it, but now it is backwards on the screen. I wish the glare wasn't as bad. I've tried different angles, and you can see it, but not too well. So it's not too bad. All right, so it's on backwards right now. So I've got it mirrored. I'm going to click OK down here. And I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to click OK one more time. Now I'm on the screen where I could add something else if I wanted to, or I can scan, because I'm going to put my glitter vinyl. So I'm going to cut this in a blue glitter vinyl. This is the clear plastic stuff that we need to leave on, and this is going to be against the mat, and we're going to be cutting from this direction. So I'm going to put this on my mat. Give me a second here. And I'm going to pull this down so you can see me do this. So I'm going to put this on my mat, and you can put it anywhere. Because remember, we can scan, so we know we've got our design in the right place. I cut this piece about 2.5 inches by 9, so I had a smaller piece to work with. And it will, I know the design will fit on here. So I'm going to push it on. If you are having a little trouble with your mat being not so sticky, I love, these tools will also be on the website. This is a brayer, and it's the little brother brayer. I really like it. It's got a little rubber wheel on it, and so I can stick this down, and then I can just roll over this with my brayer, and it will stick better to the mat. I use this almost every time I use my Scan and Cut. Okay, I've got this on the mat. Now we need to load our mat before we start scanning. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bump this up to my wheels, and then I'm going to put my hand spread apart in front of the roller bar, and I'm going to hit the button that loads the mat, and I'm going to guide it in. Just make sure you move your hand before you get it under there. That keeps the mat very smooth and flat against the bed of the machine. Okay? So now let's go back up here again, see if I can find the spot where you can see what I was doing here. The scanning button, where'd my little stick go? Here we go. The scanning button looks like the little scanner of the mat right here, and we're going to click that first. And I'm going to click Start, because I'm not sure where my pattern needs to go. I want to make sure that I hit this piece of vinyl I just put on. So we're going to hit Start, and it's going to scan. Is everybody still awake, or did I put everybody to sleep? I got a bunch of people here. Okay, so now on the screen, see, you can see my blue. You can see my blue vinyl. My design is just below it. So if I touch it, see the red box? And I can pull it up so that I know it's right in the middle of that vinyl. Like that. So you can see it's definitely going to hit my vinyl with no problem. So that means you can put your stuff on the mat anywhere, and you can always scan it to get it in the right place. Or if you want to do like 3 or 4 different things at the same time, you can do them all at the same time. Like let's say you have 3 colors of glitter vinyl, and you want to cut them all at the same time. You can do that by just putting them on and then scanning. I would highly recommend, though, doing like materials. So you can't do a glitter vinyl and like a cardstock at the same time, because the machine is going to adjust the blade to whatever the first thing is, and it won't know what to do with the other things. So like I try to get all my glitter vinyl together, and then all my regular smooth vinyl together, or all my paper together. Does that make sense to everybody? Don't mix and match, because the machine will get confused. All right. How do you know where to put the glitter vinyl? Is it better to put it in the corner and move your pattern? You can do that too, Colleen. It doesn't matter. What I did with this is I just used a line on the mat to keep it kind of straight. And then I just put it on the mat wherever I felt like it. Doesn't matter at all. Sometimes I just put it in the top left corner, but you can put it anywhere you'd like. Okay? So you don't have to put it in any particular place. All right, so then we've done our scanning. We've got our design placed. We're going to click OK. And of course, we need to select what we're going to do. On this particular, this one, we're going to be cutting, right? So I'm going to click Please Select, and I want to cut. Now, when I cut glitter vinyl, I've had to play around a little bit with this, with the auto blade, because what you have to do when you cut glitter vinyl or adhesive vinyls is you have to use what they call the half cut. The half cut is something that we can adjust in the settings. So right under the word cut, see there's a little tool wrench. I'm going to click that, and it's going to take me to my settings for my cutting. The new machines cut pretty fast, and they are defaulted at the number 5. I find that pretty fast for me. I like to cut at 3. So I'm going to bring my cut speed down to 3. And remember, we need half cut. So the cut pressure and the cut pressure manual blade, all of those, we don't need to bother with those right now because I want to cut half cut. That's on the second page. So I'm going to click the little arrow. I'm going to go down to the second page and it says half cut. Now for those of you that have the older machines, you do not have this. And I'll explain your blade setting here in a minute, okay? So the half cut, I have turned it on. See, when I cut other things, we wanted to cut all the way through. And now this, I only wanted to cut through the vinyl, not through the carrier sheet. And then I have found that I've had to play a little bit with this cut pressure because normally it's defaulted at 0 or auto. And that doesn't cut through clean enough for me to be able to weed it well. So I found with my glitter that I put it to the number 2. And that seems to cut very cleanly, cuts all the way through the vinyl, but not through the carrier sheet. Okay? For those of you with the older machine, I use the standard blade for the glitter vinyl, and I set my blade to the number 5. And I put the cut pressure at 0. And it cuts very well through the vinyl, but not through the carrier sheet. Machines do vary somewhat, so you may need to do a test cut. And I'll show you where the test cut here is in a minute. It's basically the same place on either machine. But I do more test cutting with my older machine to make sure that I had the blade set correctly. So for the older machines without the auto blade, you set the blade to 5 and the cut pressure to 0. Okay? So I'm happy with these. I've got 2 and the half cut is on. I'm going to click OK. Now if I wanted to add the test cut to this, I would touch this test button. I'm very sure that this is going to cut okay. So well, you know how it goes. If I'm on camera, it will not cut. But we'll just go for it. I'm usually pretty happy with it at this setting. So I could use my test and add a little test cut. Then what it would do, it would do like a little square or something, and then stop the machine so you could test it or check to make sure it worked. And then you could go back and finish the cut. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm pretty sure it's going to cut okay. So I am going to hit start. I've got all my settings. I can look at them again here to make sure I'm happy with my settings. And then I'm going to hit start. And here it goes. So I'll bring it down here so you can see it cut. It's going to adjust the blade. And for those of you who have some of the older machines, I love my 650. These machines are super quiet. Did you hear how quiet they are? And they cut faster if you want them to. But I've been super happy with the auto blade. It's so user friendly because if you're new to cutting, this took a lot of the guesswork out of it by adding this auto blade. It was a great idea they did. Okay, so it tells you up on the screen. I'll tip this up. It tells you on the screen, here how long it's going to take to cut, about a minute. But I remember the first time I tried my new Scan and Cut when I got it. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how quiet it was. It was so amazing because the older ones were noisy, and if you had people in the house and they were sleeping or something, it would definitely wake them up. But I do love the quietness of this one. Okay, so now it's all cut, and I have this all. The other thing we'll have up on the website, and these are not quite up there yet. These are some of the tools. I love this spatula. It's got a real thin spatula on the end, and then we'll use the weeding tool here in a minute. But there's a little set you can get that has the spatula, and then you can get this off. So I'm going to take my spatula and just go underneath the edge here and get this off the mat. It's easier to get started like this. Oops. Don't take my stick with you, Mitzi. Oops, I just dropped it. Okay, so here's my vinyl, and it's cut. So I'm going to go over there, and we're going to do all the weeding at the same time. I just dropped my poker, so I have to go find it. Okay. All right. So we have designed our design, and then we have cut that one out. The next step is going to be cutting the decorative edges, and those are going to be a free design. So the design, I uploaded it, and this is the one I got off of the Canvas workspace, and I did upload it to the group, and it's in a folder, and this design is already done. So all you have to do is load it. So I have loaded already on my machine. Go back up here again, see if I can get the angle right again. I'm going to hit the little house button because we're done with this one. I'm going to click OK. All right. Then I'm going to go to Retrieve Data again. And then I'm going to go back to the machine. I saved this the freebie design, this pretty design. I saved it on the machine, and you could put it on a stick or whatever you want. I just happen to have mine on the machine, so I'm going to go get it. And it's down here towards the bottom, so it's right here. Is that pretty design? So we didn't have to create this one. This one's already done. So this one, I'm going to hit OK. We're going to cut two of these. And I have one going on each side of the Scan and Cut cover like this. So when you cut these, we have to cut one mirrored and one not mirrored because they're going to meet each other in the center. Okay? So we're going to do, give me a second here, I'm going to turn this over so I don't miss a step. Here's the first one. We can cut both of these at the same time. So what I'm going to do, let's get a little closer so you can see the design a little better. I'm going to edit again. I've got this selected, and I'm going to edit. And I'm going to object edit. And I would like to cut two of these. So the second box up here that has the little plus sign on it allows me to change how many I'm going to cut. So I'm going to hit that little button. Instead of one, I'm going to tell it to cut two. All right, and then I'm going to hit OK. And they're both sitting here, but they're going the same direction. They're both heading the same direction. I need them to be, one of them to be the opposite direction. So I'm going to, how did I load my design on my machine, Denise? I downloaded it from the Canvas workspace. And then, and it's also on the group in the Dropbox. I just downloaded it and I put it onto a USB stick, and then I saved it in my machine because I knew I'd be using it again. So just download it, just like you would an embroidery design, to a USB, and then put it into the machine because the USB is over here. You can bring it in that way. That's how I did it. And I saved it to my machine so I wouldn't have to bring it in on a USB tonight. That was a very good question. Okay, so now we've got both of these up here. Let's see if I get a little closer. Yeah, you can see them a little better now. Okay, we got both of them, but remember I need one of these going the other way. So I'm going to take that mirror button. I've got the second one selected, which is fine. I'm going to hit the mirror button, and see now they're going opposite directions. Okay, like that. So that's the way I need to cut these because I need two of them. Okay. So I'm going to take my vinyl that I want for my pretty decorative stuff, and I'm going to put it on my mat. So let's pull this down so you can see. And I'm just going to put them on here where they fit. They'll both fit on here. So let's just put this one on here. And I'm going to get my brayer out again. I love this brayer. This is like my favorite tool, I think, is my brayer. You know, and I have to, I'm kind of goofy. I have to have everything that says brother on it, you know. So this is one of the first things I was so excited when they had the brayer when the brayer came out. Then I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put the other one down here. Again, it doesn't matter. I can put it anywhere I want. Let's just stick it down here. And again, I'm going to use my brayer to make sure it's stuck well to the mat. Okay. Then we're going to load this mat in, and this has got my two decorative, my pretty colors, and these were cut at 5 by 8.5. I did not change the size of this decorative one for either of the for either cover. They were the same size. So I'm going to put my hand here. I've got it bumped up against my wheels, and I'm going to hit the load button. Okay. So now we need to make sure that we're going to hit those pieces of vinyl. I love glitter vinyl. This is like my favorite thing to work with, and it cuts so well. And like I said, Brother has about 6 or 8 colors of the glitter vinyl, and we're going to have all of that on the website. And they also have about 6 or 8 colors of that new metallic HTV or heat transfer vinyl. I cannot wait to try that because I've never tried it, and because I've never been able to really get it before. So where I usually have bought stuff. So I was really excited when they had it. So Tim ordered some for both stores, so we'll have some in both stores, and it'll be on the website, so you can order it if you want to. Okay, so now I'm going to hit OK. Get my little stick, it's easier for you to see. And I'm going to hit OK one more time. And now we need to scan again. So here's that scanning button again. We want to make sure we get the designs where we want them. So I'm going to hit the scanning button. I'm going to hit start. It's going to scan it in. So is everybody going to make a cover for their scanning cut? I've been wanting to get a cover for like 2 years. My machine, I've had a machine for like 2 years, and I need a cover because of the cats. I mean, they walk on everything. So I like covers on everything, and I hadn't had a cover for all this time. All right, so here are my 2 pieces of glitter vinyl. I'm going to touch that pattern, and those were already grouped. Can you see that there was a big box that went around the whole thing? I'm going to pull that up so it fits right on that. The top one's on the top piece, and then I've got the second one, and I'm going to pull it down a little bit so that it's right on my vinyl. So it's perfectly lined up where I want it. Okay? Now I'm going to hit OK. And again, we're going to be cutting. I'm sorry, I have a cat conversing with me down here now too. So I'm going to hit please select. I'm going to cut again. And since we'd already made the settings on the machine, they should be the same, but we'll check them because you can check it right here. It says the pressure's at 2, that's where we set it. The speed is at 3, and the half cut is on. Okay, so those settings are the same since we've already used them once. I'm going to go ahead and just let this cut. Now this will take a little bit, so we're going to talk about weeding the other piece while these are cutting. Okay, so I'm going to get this started. I'm going to hit the start button. It says it's going to take 9 minutes, so I'm just going to push my machine back a little ways out of the way, and then we're going to talk about weeding while the machine is cutting over here. Are there any questions so far? Is this making sense to everybody? I love heat transfer vinyl. So this heat transfer vinyl can be applied by either an iron or a heat press. Now I happen to have a heat press, and I'm not going to get the heat press turned on and everything tonight. But you can use an iron. And on the tube when you buy your heat transfer vinyl, because I know that the instructions are right on the Brother tube, it will tell you where to set your iron and how long you need to hold it down, and you will also need some you'll need some pressure. Okay, so it's right all listed on the tubes. Okay, so this is what it's cutting right now, is these pretty ones. I did these in blue, so we'll get these out of the way here for a second. And I'm going to show you how to weed. Weeding is actually one of my favorite things. It's very relaxing. And I have this lovely little toy here. This is one of my Christmas presents to myself. I got this little small light box, and it's a light pad, so I can take this off, and it's just a light. Or you can lay this little cutting mat. This is a cutting mat for your rotary cutter. You can lay this down over the top. This is something else that will be on the website. So there's 2 sizes. This is the most wonderful thing. They're little lightweight things. And I love this one because it's small and I can stick it in my scan and cut bag. And it's very bright. It's that real white, bright light. And so then when you're weeding, I can see where the lines are. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the light from behind so you can see where the lines are, where it cut? So if you just kind of go like this, you can see the lines. And I could never see that without my glasses. So this has been a godsend, this little thing. So there'll be 2 of them up on the website in the next couple of days. This is the 8x11 size, and then there's a size that is 11 by 17, I think. It's a pretty good sized one. And this little one was great though, because I've been using it in here because it just fits on my table in here. Okay, I just love them. So yeah, so give us a couple days if you want these things I'm showing you. Just give us like this week, and they'll be up there. So just keep watching the website because they're going to be up there. I hope after tomorrow. Actually, they're called Nifty Notions Backlight is what they call it. But then you can use a rotary cutter. So let's say you're cutting out some very intricate quilt squares. You can use this to use a rotary cutter on, and you can see what you're doing. And the bigger one, is even bigger. So they can be used for, I like to leave the mat on when I'm weeding because then I don't scratch the light part. So I just leave the mat laying on it. And you can get new mats. If you wear out your mat, you can get a new mat too. And then they have a bag that you can carry them in. So if you need to, transport it a lot, they have a bigger bag. They don't have one for the little one. This slips in with my mats in my scan and cut bag. But the bigger one, they have like a bag with a shoulder strap on it if you need to move it around a lot. So these are awesome. I just love them. This is Nifty Notions Backlight is what they call it. But they'll be up on the website before too long, and we're going to have some in the store too. Okay? So you can see, see the lines? So then we need a weeding tool. And this is the other part. You get these 2 tools together in the little set. You get the spatula and the weeding tool. And I really like the handle on here because it's bigger to hang on to. It's more comfortable. Some of my other tools got a really tiny, tiny little handle. So this one's nice. And when you weed, you're going to weed from the back. And I'm going to see where my cuts are because you can see that in my light here. And I'm going to go over here to the corner. And I'm going to grab that corner up. And I'm going to pull slowly back. And you do need to do this slowly. Now I will say you have to be a little careful with glitter vinyl because it can rip. But this has cut through very cleanly. So I don't have any ripping, and because it's cut so cleanly. But you do have to do this slowly. And it's going to cut out, I'm going to pull out the stuff that I don't want. And that's what weeding is you're pulling out the part of the vinyl you don't want. Okay, so I'm pulling this off. Just do it slowly. Okay. So I did have a little rip there, but it's not a bad rip. It's just some waste. So pull this over this way. These carrier sheets actually do stick pretty tight, so you have to kind of pull a little bit. Okay, so here's my S. So I need to take my weeding tool and go into this S and pull that out a little bit. This one's a little bit more like holding a bigger pencil or a bigger pen. They're comfortable. And here's my C, so I need to do the same thing here. Pull that out. There's the A, and here's the N. All right, so I got all of that done, but then I need, there's a little bit of this N that didn't come out, so I can pull this out. Let me get a little bit closer. But look, see that light? Isn't that awesome? I just love these. And they Nifty Notions just brought these out. I got this right before Christmas. That's the first time that they brought them out. I thought they were so awesome. Okay, so there's that N. So there's an N in there, so I can see where my lines are. And the other vinyl, like that real smooth vinyl, that is really hard to weed if you can't see where the lines are. And this light really helps. So this one, oh, there we go. There's the N. Just about got it. Okay. So there's the inside of my N. And then, oh, I missed my A. So I think, do I have everything else? I think I just need to do the inside of the A. So I've got my tool, and I'm going to find the inside of my A. Still haven't found it yet. I have to kind of go like this sometimes to find it. There it is. There it comes. Okay, so there's the inside of my A. And then what I do with all these little pieces, there's a lot of little pieces in this one. So you're going to do the same thing when these are done. I'm not going to weed all of these in front of you, but you can see there's a lot of little pieces in here. Okay, so what I do is I kind of go around when I do these. I like to grab these 3 little circles first in the little flowers, and then I go around and I kind of stay in order here and do these, and either start on the outside and work in, or inside and work out, and then get all these little pieces out. So you can see there's a lot of pieces here. Okay, and what I do is I turn it over, and I was doing the same thing. I hold it up over the light, and I kind of go like this, and I can see the lines where the light shines through. Okay, so I'm not going to weed these in front of you, because they do take just a little bit of time, but they're not hard to weed. It just takes a little time because there's a lot of pieces you're going to weed out. But isn't that pretty? And the ones I'm doing for the Scan and Cut cover are going to be pink. They're going to be hot pink. Okay, so the other thing I do then is as I'm pulling all those little pieces out, I love this little mat. So what I do is when I get the little pieces out, I kind of push them over here to the side, and then I can take the mat off of the little, I can take this little mat off, and I can go to the trash can and get all of those little pieces in the trash can, because if I go like this and try to grab them, I grab all of them, and then they just kind of go spewing all over. So I love this little mat that I can do that. That's why I leave it on, so I can empty all this. Okay. So that is weeding. This is the weeding tool. These 2 tools come together. So the spatula and the weeding tool comes together. And then the other what thing I used was this brayer. And then they also, Brother has a new thing, and I asked Tim to have Sarah put it up on the website. They have a new set that you get all of the tools except the brayer. You get the scraper and a pair of tweezers and another little stylus stick, these little stylus sticks. You get another one of those, and they're in a little baggie that zips shut, so it's a little tools kit, and they have those too. So those are really cool. They're like dark blue, and they're in a really pretty bag. Those of you who have the Disney machine got that with the machine. It comes with it. Okay? How much are these tools? These tools, I know they're going to put them up as map price, Denise. The tools are around $20 if you want these 2. If you want the whole set, it's normally around $50, but he's going to put them up at map price, so they'll be a little less than that. I don't know what the price is, though. But they vary. It just depends on how many tools you need. And if you want the whole set, then you get the scraper, too. You can just get the whole set in a little bag, and you can have a little bag to zip them up in. And the little, this is around $20, the little brayer. And again, it'll be mapped, so I'm not sure what the map price is. It'll be up on the website hopefully after tomorrow, because Sarah's going to be there tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be up there. But these will be all up there, and the little cutting mat. This small one is $69.95, I think, and the big one, if you want the 11 by 17, I think it's $99. So there's 2 sizes, and hopefully they'll both be up there, and then maybe the bag too. Okay, so these are great. I just love this little thing. All right, so these are done cutting. I'm going to pull this off. Let's see, because these are on here pretty tight. So often, if I can't get my spatula under there, I'll kind of go like this and pull it this way. Okay. But I'm not going to weed these in front of you. You see what they're going to look like. But can you see can you see all the lines through the light there? That's why that light comes in real handy. See, there's all the lines, and all you have to do is do the same thing. Is just go ahead and weed all the parts out that you don't want on the little decorative pieces. Okay? This is what they look like when they're done. So mine just happened to be blue, the ones that I did in advance, so you could see them all weeded, because I knew it would take a little while to weed them. Okay? All right. So then what I did is I took my pieces. You get these out of the way. Just had a couple little pieces. We'll get these off here so we don't lose them and get them stuck to something. I'll weed my pink ones later. I took my Scan and Cut cover. Now this happens to be the small one. And I kind of laid it out on my table. Let's pull this camera back just a little bit. Kind of laid it out on my table. This is the front. I made sure I had the front going to the front. Laid this out on my table. And then I took my 2 pieces, and it's kind of flat at the bottom, as you can see. So I ran that flat area just, see, I hemmed that, and I ran the flat area right where the little ridge was on the bottom, and I pushed this over to the side because the seam is right here. And I kind of stuck them on my cover where I thought maybe they'd look good. Like that. And then I took one of my, I don't have it in here, but my quilt ruler. I took a quilt ruler and measured from the bottom to this to make sure I had them even. All right. And then I took this piece, and this is how I usually, actually I think I did this piece first. Let's try that again. I usually take this piece first, and I find the center of it. This is how I did it. I did it the center, so I folded it in half like this, and I just creased the center of the front like this. This is how I find the center of things. So I did that. So here's my crease right here. You can probably see it. And then I took this piece and I folded it and met the ends up, and I creased my plastic. This is how I always center things. This always works for me. I don't know if it's the right way, but it always works for me. Like this, and made a crease in the transfer sheet. And then I know where the center is. So like here's my center line, and here's the center of that, so I can get everything organized. And then I put these back on. That's how I did it. I did this first. And then I think I just pulled it down after I could see the line, so I had to pull it down a little bit. But got this all organized on here. And this is sticky. The stuff's still sticky, so then it sticks to your cover. Once you get everything organized where you want it, and I'll have to do some measuring yet for this. See, this needs to come down a little bit. So I can see the line, and I can see my center, so I'll just bring this down between the little flowers there, like that. And then again, I would take my my ruler from my mat, my rotary mat ruler, you know. I would take it up and make sure that this is not crooked on there. And I would stick it down the best I could. And then what I do is I take this over either to the ironing board, and I put a pressing cloth over the top, and I set my iron to where it tells me on the heat transfer vinyl. And then you put some pressure on it, and it'll tell you how long to leave it on there and what temperature. So do that with your iron, or if I turn around here, you're going to get a good view of my cat too. Over here behind me, can you see that thing over there that's got the brown thing and the black thing? Mitzi wants to be petted, so we'll pet Mitzi too. That is my heat press. So I would take this over to my heat press, and I put that pressing cloth, that brown thing is a pressing cloth, and I would lay that over my cover, and I would do it that way. So that's how I'm going to do mine when I get it ready to do it. Okay? I'll do it with my heat press. If you have a steam press, some of you bought steam presses from us years ago. I love those steam presses. Yeah, I still use mine all the time. That's another way you can do this, because then it's a bigger piece. It's a little easier than with the irons. And I know some of you said that you had that new Cricut thing that's like a heat press kind of, but you hold it down or something. I haven't seen those working, but I know people are using them. How do you clean your sticky mat? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. How do I clean my mats? Okay, so that is going to be my finished Scan and Cut cover. And you know where, everybody knows where the designs, but Colleen had a good question. How do I clean my sticky mat? How I clean my mat is, let's see if I can find them. I go to the dollar store, I go to Dollar Tree, and I buy these really cheap baby wipes. They have no aloe, and they're fragrance free for me because I'm allergic to everything, and they have no alcohol in them. And I use that, and I just wipe my mat clean. It keeps the cat hair off. As you can see, I have helpers, so I always have cat hair and things, cleans my mat. Those work really well for a while to keep my mat sticky. After a while, though, my mat will not continue to be sticky, and I have to re-stick it. In fact, I did that to my mat last evening when I was getting ready for class. I'm going to turn this over again, take this one off too, and I'll weed these later. I'll put a picture of them up on the group when I get them all weeded and ironed on. But what I did then with my mat is, this one's nice and sticky now. I took painter's tape and went along the edge of the mats because I don't want anything sticky out here where the wheels are going to go. And then I have this wonderful stick. You get these at Hobby Lobby. These are called Zig two-way glue pens. And it's this kind of big 1-inch kind of long thing. And this is glue. It's repositionable glue. So I put the tape around the outside, and then I just paint it and let it dry, and then I've got a nice new sticky mat again. Works great. These are back in the scrapbooking department with the glues for the scrapbookers. And I know I get them at Hobby Lobby. I think I saw them at Michael's too. I don't go to Michael's very often, but they work great. How about just an iron? Mel, yes, you can use just an iron to put on your design, but you will have to read on your heat transfer vinyl when you get it. There will be instructions on how to iron it on, and it'll tell you your temperature and also how long you need to hold it down. But you do need a pressing cloth for any time you use heat transfer vinyl over the top so you won't scorch your fabric. Okay? Are there other questions? So I'll put some pictures up. I'll finish these up tonight so you can see it. But this is my finished cover. Let me get the one I did finish. We'll put it back on the machine so you can see it. Stuck in here. We'll slip it back up here. I really had fun making this. I needed a cover so bad, and I was so glad to get it done. So it just slides right on. And I had my scan and cut on there. Now, there will be another class soon. I'm not sure. I haven't decided when. But we're going to continue with the cover, and I'm going to show you how to do rhinestones. And we'll put our name on our cover. So I'll probably put my name at the top or something. So that'll be something we'll add to our cover. We'll put our names on them. I like to put the names on them because if you bring machines to class, then you have everybody's covers looks the same. Well, it's nice to have your name on the top so you know whose cover it is. Okay, so there's the cover, all done. All right, what do you think? So remember, on the group, go to the group page, Sew Along with Jan, and on the group page, there is the top is the announcement, and that is the Dropbox link, so you can go find the pattern and the designs. The scan and cut is not, the scan and cut is only a picture. I want you to do that yourself. So I didn't give you the design of that. You need to do that yourself. But the picture's there. And then these designs are there that I downloaded off of the Canvas Workspace. Okay? Very soon, so be watching the website, shieldssewingcenter.com. We are going to be having more stuff up there, and I'm going to be making it easier for you to go there, because I'm trying to get some of these products that we have to hunt so hard for in stock so that you will be able to get them easily without having to go hunt them down. Some of this stuff is kind of hard to hunt down, and people call me all the time, what kind of vinyl do I have to have? I don't understand what I need. And if I have it where you can just click a button and get it, you'll be able to get it. So I'm really excited about doing this for you because I know it'll be convenient for you. Okay? Let's see. Thank you. Oh, great. Okay, so I would like to see some of your scan and cut covers. There's lots of other things you can do with your scan and cut cover. I just thought this was a really pretty design, and it was intended to be used with stickers like vinyl, or make and put it right on the machine. And I didn't want to put it on my machine. I thought it was pretty on the cover, so that's why I made the cover with them. Okay? Any other questions? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It means a lot to me that you take an hour or an hour and a half and come and visit me every Sunday night. It's lots of fun for me too. So, but I will finished my 2 covers tonight. The small one, because I wanted to do the small one too. I'll do the big one and the small one, and then I will post them on the group, and I hope you will do the same. And I hope I see you all in the store very soon. Well, and I hope that the website stuff will help everybody. That's something that we've been wanting to do for a while, and I was really excited when we decided it was time to do it. Because, we do a lot of specialty things that you can't really get anywhere, and it's very hard to find sometimes. So wouldn't it be easier just to be able to click to ShieldSewingCenter.com and get it? And like all the thread is up there, just so you know. All the Floriani threads are up there at $4.99, and in the store they're $5.99. So order your thread. I will ship it to you. Okay? So anyway, I will see you next week. Next week is the 1st, right? The 1st of March, next Sunday? I get mixed up. On February is a short month. So I think it's the 1st of March. Am I correct? Those of you who are here? Second here, let me get my... Yes, so that will be the software class. So that's going to be that little USB. We're going to learn to digitize that little In the Hoop project. So that will be on the Sessions on Software group and not the sewing group. And then the following week will be I think it is starting over again. Is that correct? Yes, starting over part 3. And that will be here. So, all right. Okay, so I will see everybody soon, and if you have any questions, text me, message me, whatever, and I will, and then be watching the website, because I know there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go up there this week, and a lot of changes. So, okay, thanks everybody. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.